Welcome to the FBC Laboratories, where today we have come to do an experiment to help prove a point about finances in church. It's a subject that we don't often like to talk about, so today we thought we'd use an experiment to demonstrate what happens in churches when we don't all step up to the plate and help out the way God has called us with our finances. And so today on the FBC Labs, we're going to do an experiment involving some Mentos and Diet Coca-Cola to help us understand. Hello?
Hey!
What you doing,
I found
John?
it, Paul.
You look like you had a little difficulty there, John.
Paul,
What are you doing?
this lab is sweet.
Well, John, it's a professional laboratory. We have to do a scientific experiment today.
Why are we outside?
Well, the nature of today's experiment is a little explosive, and so we decided we would be best off doing it outside of the confines of the internal laboratory.
You got Diet Coke here.
Oh, exactly.
I've drank this many times and there's nothing explosive about it.
That is because you have never mixed it with Mentos, my friend.
So are we going to be doing a science experiment?
Exactly.
I've come prepared. I've come prepared, Paul.
You have?
With my lab coat
Oh, this should be scary.
and you always should have some safety goggles, Paul. Safety goggles and a lab coat. My lab coat.
John,
Put my
that
sunglasses
is the,
right there.
That is
Got
the
my safety
strangest,
goggles.
strangest lab coat I've ever
Safety
seen.
first, Paul. Safety first. Do you need some goggles? I got some extras back here.
No,
if you
no,
need
no.
some.
I brought my
Need some
own
goggles?
professional grade high polymer plastic frames and lenses right here. I'm protected. John, that's annoying.
I don't think those work near as good as mine, Paul. Not near as good. Tell me about your experiment. I am ready.
You are? Okay, well, we have a problem in a lot of churches where, well, to be quite frank with you,
My name
Most
is John, not Frank.
John, I know that. All right, most of the giving tends to be done by about 20% of the church. And when
Not
we
a very
do that,
big number.
I know, we limit what God can do. And so today, this represents the potential of what God can do.
Potential.
And this represents what happens when only 20% do their thing.
What is that, Paul?
This is a little piece of Mento. You ready? You ready?
Mento.
John, why are you eating our science
You
experiment?
said Mento.
Okay,
There we
watch.
go.
Watch. This is what
20%.
happens. This is what happens.
God's potential.
20%.
20% of a Mento.
Ready?
Okay, time out. Time out. You just did one of these. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? And
Got
this
your
is
point.
what I get. This is what, look. Oh. That's what I get?
That's my point, John. That's what happens.
That is
when,
weak.
That's what happens when we rely on others to do what we've been
ready?
called to do. When we put all the financial burden on a small group of people and say, I don't have any responsibility, and we don't do our part, we limit the potential of what God wants to do through us.
That's weak.
Yeah, it's weak.
Now, so what you're saying is, if we took all these Mentos and everybody was given, and the potential would just be enormous and just
Absolutely.
explode.
If we all did what God
Dude.
called us to do, the power of what God could do through us would be amazing.
I can do this, Paul. Watch out.
John, what-
If that's all it is, we're good. But this is everybody. I'm taking everybody.
John, do you know what you're doing?
Trust me, dude. I'm everybody. Did you see that? That was weak.
I think I'm gonna step back. John, what happened?
I'm glad I had my safety goggles on, Paul.
John,
Did you see that?
are you okay?
Did you see that?
It was
you
explosive.
see that?
It was powerful.
That's what I'm talking about.
John, that is what God wants to do through us.